If you ever want this dismissive, avoidant partner to come back to you, or you truly just want to maintain some self-respect, do not make these 5 mistakes. If you're new here, my name is Dr. Lilli. I help you heal from toxic relationships so that you can create the healthy relationship of your dreams. I have been studying the science of relationships and attachment for over 8 years now. I healed my own anxious attachment, and now I'm here to help you heal from your own toxic relationships, whether you're anxious or avoidantly attached, and actually create the love and relationship that you want. Because guess what? Anxious attachment and avoidant attachment are just 2 faces of the same coin. So in today's video, I'll be going over the biggest mistakes I see after getting out of a relationship with a dismissive avoidant partner, also just known as an avoidantly attached partner. So what is a dismissive or avoidantly attached partner? Well, there are 4 types of attachment styles: secure, anxious, avoidant, and fearful avoidant, also known as anxious avoidant. But we're focusing on the avoidantly attached or dismissive avoidant type. So these people are afraid of or uncomfortable with emotional closeness, intimacy. They fear getting too close to somebody because they fear that that person will then abandon them. They fear that they won't be able to live up to this person's expectations, that they're going to be emotionally engulfed by this other person, that they're not good enough. They have a low sense of self-worth. And they are overwhelmed by all of these fears. They often aren't very in tune with their emotions or feelings. They often can't recognize them and shove them deep down because there is not space or room for their feelings, often something they learned in childhood. When another person, often their parent or caregiver, has so many big emotions that they're relying on the avoidant partner to try to manage. And so in order to avoid this intimacy, to avoid the emotional overwhelm or the other partner abandoning them, they choose to leave, to step out of the situation, to take space, because that feels safer to them. It is so much safer for them to leave than for them to get abandoned. That is a core wound for them. And that is why it's very common for these people to break up when they can't handle their emotions. They feel like there's too many high expectations of them. The relationship is progressing or getting closer or approaching commitment. That is when these types of people usually take a step back or remove themselves from a relationship entirely. The first mistake that I see a lot of people fall into is they start to beg. This usually happens either during the breakup conversation or right after. You think that you can convince the avoidant partner to stay in the relationship, to love you, to keep trying by begging and pleading and giving them all the reasons why they should stay in the relationship. So why shouldn't you beg? First off, it's all around low vibrational. By leaning into this energy of begging and trying to convince somebody that you are worth staying in a relationship with, or that the relationship is worth saving, you are lowering your own worth and value by trying to get them to stay. That is inherently what is happening when you are trying to convince someone that they should be or do something that they don't want to do. Because clearly at the time of them breaking up with you or having broken up with you, they either don't value the relationship enough and or they're not willing to put in the work that's necessary to make the relationship work. And no relationship is going to be successful if only one person wants to put in the energy and effort to make it happen and make it healthy. So don't disrespect yourself. If someone is saying they don't want you and you are begging them to stay, you're lowering yourself and putting them on a pedestal, which is disrespectful to you and your value. And people that do this tend to already have a low sense of self-worth and value, and that is why it's so easy and natural to lower yourself and disrespect yourself. But I need you to see and recognize that by begging, you are reinforcing this idea to yourself that you are not worthy of more, which will only land you in a place of having and accepting less. What this is teaching your brain from a neuroscience and psychology perspective is that you aren't worth having somebody who wants you and chooses you. Now, this doesn't make your partner or the dismissive avoidant a bad person because they're not choosing you or don't want to be with you or don't see the value of the relationship. They can still be a good person and not be ready in their own healing process, healing journey to step up and be the partner that you need them to be. Maybe it's not about your value or your worth, but their inability to rise to meet it. That doesn't mean that you're better than them. That doesn't mean that they're worse than you. You're just at different places in your life and your healing journey, and that's okay. What it often really reflects is that the reason you came together in the first place is because you were an energetic match. Your anxiousness and their avoidance equaled each other. You were in the same place of pain and willingness to grow. And this can fluctuate. However, if you choose to stay connected to them, to continue to beg for their love and attention, you are still equally showing up from a place of wounding as they are in their place. As they distance themselves, you are trying to move closer to them that same and equal amount. So this is a good reflection for you for what areas still need healing within you. And remember that healing is both to attract and create the healthy relationship that you want, both with a partner and for yourself and with yourself, because that's where all of this comes from. The relationship that you have with yourself and the beliefs that you have about who you are and your value and your worth. It is not your job to prove to them that they are able to show up for the relationship. If they are saying things like, you're too good for me, or I'm not good for you, or I can't be the person you need me to be, even if you see all of this potential in them, even if you know exactly what you would need from them in the relationship, if they are saying that they are unable and unwilling to put in the effort to try to be that and change and grow and develop with you and the relationship, then it's not your job to try to prove to them that they are able to do that they can fulfill their potential, because they are choosing not to. And it is not your job or your responsibility to lower your standards of what you need for a healthy relationship so that they can meet you there. Because as you lower that bar, if they really don't want to show up and be in that relationship, wherever you set that bar, they will be under it. And as you continue to lower it, they will continue to fail and your standards will have dropped and you will be unhappy in that relationship. You're worthy of so much more. So stop accepting less. Don't beg for someone who doesn't want to show up and put in the work. Let's also talk about ego. Don't lower your ego so that you are under them and they're on a pedestal. But also don't inflate your ego so much to think you are so much better than them, so much more healed and ready for a relationship. Because as I mentioned before, you are at equal matches, equal energies and vibrations, but you show up in different ways. However, I also want you to recognize that ego isn't always bad. Sometimes it is protective. And in this instance, when somebody is not showing up for a relationship, not wanting to put in that work, then allow a little bit of that ego to come out and protect you. Remind yourself, if they don't want you, well, then they don't deserve you. And I don't even know if I would consider this ego, but more of a sense of self-worth, which maybe is connected to ego, but it's a healthy sense of self-worth. If they don't see that value of the relationship that you're trying to build, of the person that you are, then as Mel Robbins says, let them go, let them not see it, and focus on you. Remember to make sure to do the work and reflect so that you can heal and stop attracting the same kind of person. Because if you don't do the work, you're gonna keep running into this person again and again, no matter who you date. They're gonna have a different face, a different name, a different set of hobbies, but they're gonna have the same kind of wounding if you never reflect on what is attracting you to this type of person in the first place and actually take the steps to heal and overcome it. The other part about begging is that with a dismissive avoidant, begging means that you're moving closer, you're clinging on harder, and this is confirming their fears and anxiety around being engulfed, overwhelmed by emotion. It confirms the fear that somebody else is going to become emotionally dependent on them, which means they aren't safe in that emotional chaos and overwhelm from somebody else. And that pulls them further away from that relationship because it feels scary, it feels overwhelming. So begging them has several consequences if you want them back or if you want a healthy relationship. When they pull back or when they leave a relationship, it is often because they are overwhelmed by the intimacy, the closeness, that they feel like they need space to regulate. And they're not going to verbalize this because many of them are unaware of what exactly is happening. But that's the truth. And if you move closer and you beg and chase, it's just putting them into a state of more dysregulation. And then they will feel like, oh, it's such a relief for them to be away. It will confirm, oh, that person was too much. I can't handle all of that. And I need to create even more distance now. Mistake number 2 that I see with anxious attachers and avoidant attachers after a breakup is reaching back out to them. There's a reason that no contact exists. There's a reason why people say it works. And it works both for your own healing and your own progress and growth. And it can also work in the way of getting that person back. Now, I do have a video on if you should accept your dismissive avoidant partner back, and I highly recommend watching that if they do come back or if you're considering letting them back into your life. So I will link it here. So make sure to add that to your queue to watch after this video. No contact is important because, like I mentioned, when an avoidant pulls back or leaves a relationship, it is because they're often feeling very overwhelmed. They are afraid of this emotional closeness, this intimacy, and they don't know how to handle it. They don't think that they're good enough for whatever is being created or built within this relationship. And so they have to pull themselves back, give themselves some space to regulate again. No contact allows that to happen. It also allows people with an anxious tendency to have some space and to self-regulate and to reflect and heal and work on themselves. If you just went through a breakup and you want to heal, you don't want to be in pain, you don't want to have sleepless nights, waking up in the morning sad that there's no message from them, distracted from work and crying yourself to sleep. You need to start no contact. You need to start some healthy habits. If you want help and guidance on no contact, I do have a no contact survival guide, 7 easy steps to stop talking to your ex for good. It also has emotional regulation tools and things to do when you're feeling that urge to contact them during this no contact phase. So that is linked down below in the show notes. But let's talk about why reaching out is so bad. Well, like I mentioned, it's closing that gap and that space that the avoidant partner is trying to create to help them regulate. And what is bad about that? Well, if you're reaching out, there's a lot of things that could happen. One, they could respond, but they give you a very dry response and it doesn't fulfill any need of yours. It's not bringing you closer. It's not productive in the relationship. They could have no response, which feels very icky after sending a message. Or you could start talking again, but they have no intention of being with you or committing to you, and you just stay on that emotional hook, waiting for them to finally choose you. There are so many reasons why reaching back out is a huge mistake if you're trying to heal or if you're trying to get this person back. The energy that you need to have, the vibration, the feeling, the confidence, the growth within you is the same whether you want them back or you don't. So do not reach out and focus on yourself. Also consider, kind of like mistake number 1, why are you reaching out to somebody who doesn't want you? Somebody who is not choosing you? How is that serving you to have somebody that isn't going to show up for you? Do you want somebody who is willing to show up for you? Do you want somebody who chooses you? Those are real questions because a lot of times when we subconsciously believe that we're not worthy of love, we subconsciously want somebody that doesn't choose us because it reinforces this idea that we have to earn love and that we're not inherently worthy of love. And that is the root cause of why you keep attracting toxic relationships and avoidantly attached partners. So I want you to really reflect on this idea. Why do you want to hold on to this person? What is the deeper core wound that is being triggered? This can be a tough one to navigate, and if you need help, I'm happy to guide you. You can book a free consultation with me. This is going to switch over to a different process very soon. So if you want that free consultation, I highly recommend booking it now. The link is going to be down below in the show notes, and I will help you figure out what is being triggered here. Why do you want them, and how can we overcome it, get them back, or heal and move on? Like I said, those energies are the same, and we can work on that together. As I mentioned before, reaching back out takes away their ability to have space to regulate again and to miss you. So it's self-sabotage in many different ways. Do not make this mistake in the first week, first month, or even few months of being broken up. As long as you are still emotionally attached to them, do not reach out to your avoidantly attached ex. If you feel the urge to reach out and contact them, I have a video that is a great pep talk and a great resource for when you're feeling like you need to break no contact. I will link that here as well. Save it, add it to a playlist for any time you feel like you need to reach out to your ex. Mistake number 3, keeping tabs on your ex avoidant partner. Even if they don't know that you're doing this, that you're still stalking them on social media, whether it's from your account, a fake account, or you're stalking their family, keeping that energetic tie, pouring energy into whatever's happening in their life keeps you connected, and they can sense this. We are all energetic beings, so they will know if your energy is still in their space. And that is exactly what they are trying to step away from in order to regulate and in order to miss you. This is why if you've ever been with an avoidant partner before, right when you feel like your life is getting back together, right when you feel like you're happy again, you could start opening yourself up to other people, you're no longer thinking about them as much, that's when they text you. That's when they hit you with an I miss you, a what's up, a happy birthday. Maybe not a happy birthday because that's very situational. But right when you feel better is when they reach back out. And it's because they energetically sense that you have detached. And that's when they feel safe again. So if you want them back, the sooner you detach, the sooner they'll feel safe and regulated to potentially come back in. And for your own healing, even if you don't want them back, the sooner you detach, the sooner you can heal and focus on you and move on and actually find a partner that can show up for you. I have several videos on the art of attachment, how to detach, many different ways of working on detachment, so go check those out. I'll put them here too. This is a video full of other videos. As long as you're keeping tabs on them, you're staying emotionally tied, and you could also be seeking a form of validation. Maybe you're looking to make sure they're not with somebody else. Maybe you're watching to see if they're sad. You want to know if their family still approves of you or not, or just know if they're thinking about you. All of those are ways to validate you and your worth because it's not coming from inside. This gives your energy, your power away. And a healthy, secure person doesn't let that happen. A healthy and secure person maintains their own energy. They give themselves the validation that they need. They don't seek external validation. Healthy, secure, confident people are the ones that attract and create healthy relationships. Those are the ones that are effortlessly magnetic to other people. If you really want to heal your anxious attachment, then you have to start embracing and embodying what it means and what it looks like to be a secure person. Mistake number 4 is trying to figure them out. This means watching tons of videos on dismissive avoidant partners, figuring out why they act the way they do, what led them to this, what could they be thinking, what could they be doing right now, how could they be feeling, how do you heal an avoidant attachment, how does this show up in the relationship, how do you get an avoidant partner back, how do you get an avoidant partner to miss you. All of those things are putting too much energy into them. All of that work and effort to try to figure them out is actually just a way to avoid figuring yourself out and healing yourself. Because if you're focused on them and focused on how to mold and change yourself and be prepared to get them back or make them want you back, then you're not standing on your own business. You're not backing yourself up. You're again proving or telling yourself that you have to change in order to have love, which isn't true. And all of that energy going into figuring them out doesn't get you any closer to healing and creating a relationship that you want. Because as long as you're in the space of needing to change and earn love, then you will always attract the same kind of person that will require you to change and mold and become who they need you to be, no matter your boundaries or your needs. And number 5, the biggest and worst mistake I see with anxious attachers after a breakup with an avoidantly attached person is that they take the avoidant partner back too soon. This is the absolute worst mistake you can make. One, because if you really want them back and you really want to create a healthy relationship, taking them back too soon actually lowers your chance of creating something healthy, because it can lead to more damage and hurt and pain on both sides. Whereas if you take them back at a time where you're both more healed, you've both done more work and are ready for a healthy relationship, you've reflected and healed. Doesn't have to be 100% healed. That's not even necessarily possible. But you've put in some of that work, that's when you can actually create a healthy relationship. But if that hasn't happened, the same pattern is going to happen again. Trust me, I've been there too. Why else is this a mistake? Because you're signing up for the same pain and suffering that you've already gone through and nothing's changed. So why do that to yourself? Why sabotage the work that you've put in to try to heal by taking them back too soon? Or why are you avoiding yourself and filling this gap of needing validation or comfort with the same person who hurt you, who doesn't want you, who can't show up for you? Don't repeat the same patterns again. You are worthy of more. But if you really want more, then you have to take the steps to get that. And the best, most efficient way to do that is to learn from somebody who's done it before, somebody who's trained and knows how to navigate these situations and can support you along the way. If you want that kind of guidance, book a free consultation with me. This link is not going to last for much longer. I will be switching to a different format. So if you're really ready for that change, if you're ready to leave the old patterns behind, it's time to get support. You can't just think your way out of this one. You can't just listen or read your way out of these patterns. You need guidance. You need to work with your body. You need to take the steps that will actually get you there. Now, as far as your dismissive avoidant partner, I believe that they can change. I believe change is possible if you're willing to put in the work. That is for you, that is for your avoidant ex, that is for anybody who wants to heal and create a more authentic, happier, fulfilling life for themselves. It is possible if you want to do it. And that desire must also be backed by intentional action. I have videos on how to heal anxious attachment. I have videos on how to heal avoidant attachment and what it really takes to change and heal. Change is possible, but if you come back together too soon, you're going to fall into the same pitfalls, and nobody's going to be happy with that. I have seen in so many relationships where there is pain after pain after pain, breakups, getting back together, breakups, getting back together, where a dismissive partner leaves and comes back and leaves and comes back and leaves and comes back. And the problem is they've done this so many times that the anxious partner can no longer trust them. And then it becomes you who no longer wants them. Where if you both give yourself the space to heal and grow, it is possible to create a healthy relationship. Because clearly there is a reason that you like this person more than just the trauma. I'm sure you get along well, and I'm sure they have values that match yours, and they have a lot of potential. But that potential has to be transformed into something real. So honor yourself, give yourself the time and space to grow and gain the skills and release the limiting beliefs and past trauma that are keeping you stuck in pain and hurt. So whether you want your avoidant ex back or you just want to heal and move on, don't make these 5 mistakes. Healing is possible. I believe in you. You're not broken. There is nothing wrong with you. The only problem is that you don't see that there's nothing wrong with you. And so we have to remove these layers, these beliefs, the walls, and the lessons that made you think that you aren't worthy of more, because you are. That's it for today's video. If you found the video helpful, please give it a like, subscribe. I post new videos every single week. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I respond to every single one. If you have a video request, I'm happy to add that to my list as well. And I will see you next time.